Hello, based shaman here, and I am joined by my friend Erich.
Share your wisdom with me, O Lord Monkey.
Based shaman is here to decide if the American film American Made is American Kino.
This one stars Dylan O'Brien and Michael Keaton, right?
No, what the fuck is that?
American Assassin. They're
Oh, yeah, there's two different American movies out right
there
now.
are.
One is good and one is bad.
I desperately tried not to say American Assassin when buying the fucking ticket this week.
How embarrassing that would have been.
Yeah, I would have been stunned into silence in the theater because I was so
It would have been like,
embarrassed.
yeah, the film assassinated you into boredom.
Yeah.
Hey, Erich, what'd you think of American Made, starring every Mexican woman in the tri-state area?
Yeah, and also frumpy lesbian version of Tom Cruise. I really liked it.
Isn't every version of Tom Cruise the frumpy lesbian version?
More and more, yes. He's
Yeah.
evolved. He's like the Pokemon.
Well, tell me about this film. What'd you think of it?
So I am usually pretty mixed, I'd say, on biopics, movies that take a real life person or a real
Wait,
life
it's not
story.
pronounced. It's not pronounced biopic.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I know. I hate those.
Yeah,
people.
I used to say biopic, and then I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. What does this portmanteau even stand for? Oh, it's biography and picture. Yeah, I think maybe it's biopic.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like some kind of fucking, like, biology question you'd get on a test. But, yeah, so, American Made, I go into most biopics with my arms crossed and being like, okay, fucking movie, you better not do shit that makes me angry. Because
What makes you angry?
what makes me angry is the fucking Imitation Game. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, it's Sherlock is gay and he wants to make a computer.
Yeah, because there's a fucking part in that movie, and it's a quote that they say probably 4 or 5 goddamn times, where it's like, it's the people who you never expect anything of, who do the most to be... It's such a bullshit, like, only in retrospect looking at this person does this quote even fucking begin to apply. And
Yeah.
it's just shitty, heavy-handed screenwriting what made me even fucking angrier was that movie won the best adapted screenplay or original screenplay of that fucking year. And I'm sitting here watching the Academy Awards thinking, who are these people who are voting on this shit? Because in the Imitation Game, I mean, like, if it's even a fucking mediocre movie. Like, the movie making does not ever rise to the level. So, like, I like biopics that are well made. I do not like the fucking Imitation Game. So, anytime I go into a biopic, I'm looking at the Imitation Game as the perfect...
The standard of what you need to jump over.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be better than this. It has to clear this bar, and then we can see a good movie. I think American Made does that. It's got a lot of style in it. It presents its subject, which is, what was his name? Barry Seal? It sounds like a made-up name.
Yesterday I went and saw Battle of the Sexes, and it's
Yeah.
also a biopic that takes place in the same period. So I've got all the names mixed up right now.
Yeah,
so
you've
I
got
can't tell
all
you.
kinds of names floating around in your head. So
Yeah.
it's about this guy named Barry Seal who is flying missions for the CIA. He's running guns, running drugs, and running people eventually. But so I know a little bit about this time period. I'm big into history, so I think I should in some way. But I was sometimes shocked by the lengths that they went to in order to accomplish their goals, and it was pretty fun. I mean, like, I like the kind of movie that plays with this idea of, oh, he's breaking the law, but he's doing it for profit, wink, wink, and kind of like leaning on that American dream type thing, where if you have enough ingenuity and you have enough willingness to go outside of the lines, and as long as it's the CIA telling you you're fine with doing this, do whatever the hell you like. I mean, I think Wolf of Wall Street did a lot of similar things as this movie. Wolf of Wall Street tended to be more ridiculous and more over the top with its debauchery. But, yeah, I had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
I was gonna say this film is pretty much like, at least for me, a B plus version of Wolf of Wall
Yes,
Street.
yes.
It's about an hour shorter. The comedy, there's not as much comedy in it, but the craziness of the real life story of what happened is is what really puts it over the edge of being
Yeah.
a great film for me. But I mean, you can't match Leo and Martin Scorsese's fucking masterpiece. But this is up there.
And
It's a lighter version of the insanity of Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
But also, it's its own brand of like, wait, the government was involved? What in the fuck?
yeah. So, do you know about? You said you did some research on the real kind of shit that went on here. How much of the movie is in some way what actually happened?
All of the major events are true,
Mm-hmm.
and what blows my mind is if this film was fictional and like some guy just made it up, I would walk out of the movie saying, "Wow, like they went too far. Like that's completely unrealistic. Like, come on, you're trying to suspend my disbelief or whatever. Like, come on."
Did Barry
It's completely
Seal
unrealistic.
really crash his plane in the middle of a neighborhood, roll out of the crashed plane covered in cocaine, and then steal a kid's bike, give him some money, and then ride away? That is probably one of the most hilarious scenes in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
to me, the movie was never like rolling in the aisles. You're just dying laughing at this crazy happenstance like Wolf of Wall Street was. But I was constantly like smirking and smiling, and I thought it had a kind of a genial tone to it that kept me entertained. But that scene of him covered in cocaine, riding away from this plane crash, I thought that was
on a bike
fucking
that he could
hilarious.
probably go faster by running
Oh, totally. But
rather than riding it.
yeah, but I mean, I just had a good time with the movie. I think Tom Cruise is just a winning personality. He's very likable. Like, you don't
Yeah.
even have to do a whole lot with a Tom Cruise character. He brings just so much swagger and so much, just likability into it. Like, I can personally fault him for being a Scientologist, praise Zeno. But as a movie star, he fucking works. Like, he carries this whole movie. It's mostly him, so he does a good job of it. I enjoyed his performance. I like the movie. It's just, you're right. It's a B plus. It's a really good, well-made movie.
And I would say, clearly both of us are recommending this film,
Mm-hmm.
but it's important. If you don't know a lot about this or even anything at all, don't do any research. I would
Yeah.
say even like avoid the trailers, because the lengths to which this crazy story goes and all the twists and turns, it's so out there and unexpected and just bizarre and crazy that you won't believe that it's real,
Mm-hmm.
but it is, and these are real historical events on screen. And it's just going to blow your mind. So I'd say go into this not knowing anything, and you're going to come out and be like, okay, where's fucking Wikipedia? Here we go. What did Clinton really do that shit? What
Yeah.
the fuck? What in the fuck?
Like, I really don't want to spoil certain moments of it because it's just
Yeah.
such a good time. But like, there's a certain president that we will have in the future from this movie that is in this movie very minorly, and I just got a kick out of seeing that. And I mean, they play with stuff with Reagan is not a character played by an actor in the movie, but Reagan's kind of presence and how he deals with international issues is kind of felt. And Barry Seal's the way he kind of sees Reagan versus how Reagan actually was, and how I don't know how the politics of the situation tend to spiral out of anyone's control is pretty hilarious to see. I mean, you've got a small city in Arkansas, or a small town even in Arkansas, that basically gets taken over by these Contras that are being brought over.
Oh, and the sheriff is
Jesse Plemons.
the favorite of is it Kino?
Yes.
Mr. Meth Damon from Breaking Bad.
Meth Damon in Breaking Bad, and Meat Damon.
And Fargo season 2.
Yes, Meat Damon in Fargo season 2.
Yeah, I love him.
Yes. So, I mean, I also want to call out in this movie Caleb Landry Jones, who plays the scumbag brother of.
Oh God, man, he really embraced that role, because I hated the kid the moment I saw him.
Yes.
Because growing up in small town Iowa, I was surrounded by kids like that, and I wanted to
Shit.
fucking kill them.
I mean, he was in the newest season of Twin Peaks, and he was playing a character largely like this. He is so good at this. You just look at him and you feel dirty. You look at him and you
this
feel like
despicable little piece of shit.
you just want him away from your eyes, like instantly.
Yeah.
It's incredible, like how he's able to channel that. His skin looks like pallid and disgusting, and he's
Yeah,
got
when you
like
see him with his shirt off, like just his torso is so gross.
I would actually love to see him play the Joker just because he's just so unsettling and
Yeah.
creepy. Oh god. But yeah, I mean, and he was actually, if you saw the X-Men First Class movie, he was Banshee in that.
I don't think I saw that
Okay,
one. That was
okay.
the first one with the new cast. in it?
Yes, yes. Hmm.
Yeah, I think I skipped that one.
Shit. Okay, I really like that one. But yeah. So the movie is just constantly full of stuff that keeps you interested in it. So when Caleb Landry Jones, his character, I think his name's JB or something, but
Some stupid Hicks shit.
when his fate is figured out, did Tom Cruise knowingly do that, or was that an accident?
I think he didn't know what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I
Because
got
it seemed
from
like
it. Yeah.
I think he was actually concerned that JB was running away, and like,
Yeah.
because he's right before JB leaves, he says something that pisses off Tom Cruise, and he starts chasing after the car to like, I think, beat the shit out of the kid, and
Yeah.
then the thing happens.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing Tom Cruise had no idea that the cartel set that shit up.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like, I think one of the criticisms you could levy against this movie is that it's like not as fleshed out as something like Goodfellas or Wolf of Wall Street, where in Wolf of Wall Street you kind of got a feel for everyone in Jordan Belfort's like crew, like Seth Green and God damn it, what's his name? The fat one. What's his fucking
Jonah
name?
Hill.
Jonah Hill. Okay, I don't know why I was thinking Seth, but Jonah Hill, and you've got the guy from The Walking Dead there. Like you kind of get a feel for those characters. You've got this supporting character cast around Tom Cruise that you just don't really get a sense for. When he expands his operations, those characters aren't really actual characters. The only
Yeah, at one point Tom Cruise even introduces one and says, "I don't know anything about him." Just that he has a snake, and that's it.
like he should have pilot buddies or something that they really introduce earlier on or something that he gets into the business. I mean, the movie I think is fine. It does its job. It does what it's kind of comes in to do. And I'd really rather this movie be shorter than it be this long, epic, 3-hour long Martin Scorsese type
Yeah,
thing.
definitely.
But I mean, I think they could have used some shading on some of those characters. I do really like Donald Gleason in this movie, the CIA contact that Tom Cruise has.
I like him in everything he's in.
Yeah,
The first
totally.
time I noticed him was in Ex Machina. Now I've been, keeping track of him ever since.
Yeah, yeah, he's a great presence. I mean, he seems that kind of like smarmy, not giving off too much to tell you what his real thoughts are, but you know what he wants from you. And just the moments when he's like, "Who's what the fuck was his name?"
Who?
Donald Gleason, the red hair guy.
I don't. He had a fake name, so I don't remember.
Yeah, so basically, like when Tom Cruise needs his help, he's like, "Who's that guy? I don't know who that is," and he just walks away.
Yeah.
And then watching him in his actual work environment, having to interact with people, and he's the one coming up with all these crazy ideas, and he just eventually comes up with, "What about we sell the weapons to Iran?"
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's one guy in the CIA who has all the bad ideas that gets them in trouble. The problem is they don't say no to this guy. They don't say, "No, fuck off, come up with something else." They say, "Yeah, here, take all the money." And then, like, basically, at some point, they have to burn everything about Barry Seal. And it's just like, there's no accountability there. It's basically just, we'll cover up what needs covered up. We'll do whatever the fuck we can do or want to do. And nobody is the wiser. And so
Yeah, the movie definitely paints the government really, and
Yeah.
in all these organizations, and even the presidency in a pretty bad light of the types of things that they both do and try to hide from the public.
yeah,
So if you want to get like pissed off at your government, because like this is only what, like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
this
they're
is now
still,
40
They're still
years ago
doing
about.
shit like this on a daily basis. So if you want to get a little pissed off at your government, I would also highly recommend it for that.
yeah. Only recently have we really learned the full details about a lot of this stuff. This stuff has been going on for years now, and we'll only learn about what's going on now in like 2050 something. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
maybe
pretty
in 2050 we'll get those pictures of Osama bin Laden's corpse.
good. Floating in the sea. Or
Surely
what?
they took a photo.
Oh man, that'll be interesting. Certainly.
Yeah. Well, hey, we don't want to go too much into this movie because, like we said, like there are twists and turns that if we spoil it, like it defeats the purpose. You got to
Yeah.
enjoy it on your own terms. So, E-Rich, would you say that American Made is Kino?
Yeah, for this style of movie, for this kind of movie, it absolutely is Kino. It's decent biopic Kino, which
Yeah.
seems like I don't know, somewhat of a contradiction because Kino has to be the tippy top of movies, while this is kind of like a B tier movie that just excels at what it's going to do. It's stylish enough.
It's a B plus.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say for the year so far, it's the best biopic that I've seen. Ugh. So it's 2017 biopic Kino. How's that sound?
You keep saying biopic or a biopic. Fuck, I can't even say it wrong. You keep saying biopic. I'm going to stretch through the internet and fucking choke you out.
Do it, please. It's my new slow motion suicide. All right, everybody, go check out Tom Cruise in the new American Made film. He becomes an American Made. Hey, E-Rich, real quick, we should talk about a future series that we've been thinking about doing.
Yeah, we should mention that.
I just finished watching season 3 of Fargo, and it's probably one of my top 2 favorite shows that is currently airing.
Yeah.
You know, on television. And E-Rich and I thought, you know what? We haven't seen every Coen Brothers movie. Maybe we should go through the filmography in order from the beginning and watch each movie and then, podcast about it. So maybe it'll be weekly, maybe it'll be bi-weekly, but we're going to do a mini-series called The Kino Brothers, where we, review every Coen Brothers movie in order, and we'll see ones that we've seen before, ones that we haven't seen, and we'll figure out which one is the most Kino of them all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've seen about half of their movies, so it'll be interesting to see what the other half kind of pretends for their careers. And we are only doing the ones that the Coen brothers directed, correct? Because you look at their filmography and there's all kinds of bullshit on there that I don't know if I want to watch all that. But
we're not going to do Suburbicon directed by George Clooney.
There are
you don't
movies,
think that looks good?
Well, there are movies which, when the trailers play, I'm just not sure whether the movie's going to be good or not. Suburbicon can go either way, but the feeling I get from the trailers, the trailers look so fucking hacky. Like, the rap music playing while Matt Damon is closing the fucking trunk, and fucking Oscar Isaac sipping that coffee or whatever the fuck. Like, it's just so annoying. I've seen that trailer now like 10 times. I feel
me too. It feels like George Clooney desperately wants to be the Coen brothers, and it's like such a watered-down version of it. But I think we can both agree, based on the trailer, that the Matt Damon movie Downsizing is going to be absolute Kino, and I can't wait to see it.
That's a Charlie... Wait, maybe I'm wrong. Charlie Kaufman, maybe? No.
I don't know who directed it. I just know that it looks
maybe Alexander
fucking
Payne.
Weird.
I liked things that I've seen from Alexander Payne. Downsizing is another one where it can either be very good or very bad. I'm leaning more towards good, but we'll see when it comes.
We should do some predictions. We should start a show where we look at like the next month of movies and we predict the Rotten Tomatoes score, and like whoever's closest, or like if we're within 20 points, like we win.
We win what? Internet points?
No, we just beat the other guy. Bragging points. I could say, hey, I was smarter at predicting Rotten Tomato scores than fucking E-Rich.
Shit. All right, well...
Because we both would have won for Flatliners. That's sitting at 0%. We both would have said that.
Definitely. I mean, I probably would have said closer to 10%, but I would not have been as extreme as 0%.
Well, shit, okay. We'll see you later with some... Kino Brothers, and of course we'll keep reviewing new releases as well. I have been Mumkey Jones.
And I will always be E-Rich.